Get to Know Me podcast is sponsored by Big Love LLC, an online clothing apparel shop for men, women, children, and no label. Feel free to visit our website today at bigluv.bigcartel.com. That's biglove.bigcartel.com.
No one be on your shitty ass social media or your fucking random ass no bar ass podcast. I don't give a fuck about that nor you.
No joke right there. I'm so serious. Why so serious? Little joke. Just let her know when you want to be serious. Cause when you want to be serious, I'm gonna play around, and when you want to play around, I'm gonna be serious. And if we want to play around and be serious at the same time, I'm just gonna walk off and be serious and playing around while I'm being serious. Because I'm just playing around. Cause I'm never serious.
Why, you been feeling good?
No, I ain't been feeling it bad. But I thank God for being as well as here.
What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Bizzy Balboa. Welcome to the Get to Know Me podcast. Roll it up, twist it up, and light it, because it's about to go down. Welcome to the Get to Know Me podcast. Go ahead and roll it, twist it, light it, get your coffee or your tea, meditate, pray, sage the building, because you never know what may be said over the airways of the Get to Know Me podcast. I'm the host and creator, Bizzy Balboa, and I have an extra special guest here. Straight from Ontario, California, rapper, producer, engineer, designer extraordinaire. You know what I'm saying? All of the above. We're going to be getting into a little background and learning a little bit about this artist. It's their first time on the show. Hopefully they come back. But ladies, gentlemen, everyone in between, Big Serbs, what's good?
That's right. What's going on with you?
Nothing much, man. Man, I appreciate you even wanting to be a part of this. You know what I'm saying? I take pride in the Get to Know Me podcast. I like to be a part of helping another artist, or me and our artists helping each other out. So by you being on the podcast, you helping me out. So I appreciate that. Hopefully I can help you in return by, blowing this interview up, seeing what our listeners think, and yeah, things like that. So thank you. I appreciate you being here.
Of course, the honor is all mine. Anytime I can help out a fellow podcaster, or just be on any show, you know what I mean. The whole interviewing artists is tough. So anytime, it's like every time, especially like on the come up, is very new, like a new frontier that you're going on. Yeah. So like I already know, like I'm really solidified with podcasting and kind of like talking already, and that'd be like half the battle, interviewing other artists and stuff. So I feel like I already have it down on lock, like what it is like to talk about and shit like that.
Yeah, that's true. It is difficult. People don't take that into consideration, because there was a time frame where I was booking artists back to back to back, and I just had to stop, and everybody was like, "What's up?" And I'm like, some artists, we got a lot of artists that have like little ego issues and things like that, and it gets to a point where it's like it starts feeling like people feel entitled, and it takes a lot of time to do podcasts, and people don't think about that. Like, it's one thing to talk, like you said, but then it's the editing and promoting. You put a lot into it. And it's just a lot. So sometimes it just feels like sometimes a thankless type of job, honestly, because nobody doesn't really consider it as something that they have to thank you for. They think, oh, you're just doing this to do it, but really, you have to have a love for this to do it. In my opinion.
Yeah, I've gotten that from other because I have other homies that do podcasting too, and that'd be the thing that's the crazy part to me, is like I understand like the whole like especially with rap, it's very like egocentric. A lot of people move with their pride rather than moving with their like intelligence or like with a heart. So I just try to stay grounded all the time. Even like I try to check myself on the daily, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm totally understanding of everybody's situation. That's why I'm super laid back with the fact that however the dominoes fall, that's just what it is. You know what I mean?
Well, facts. Now I gave it away already about where you from and everything, but I like to ask artists, where you from, and then the meaning behind your rap name.
So I grew up around LA County, and then I moved over to Ontario like from when I was like a teenager, like full time. I was always kind of back and forth from LA County to Ontario. So I experienced a lot growing up, just being around different places. I never really felt like I could claim like one city, but since I've been in Ontario for so long, I feel like I could represent the city. And also too, it's just like LA has been represented so many different times by so many different people,
Yeah.
genres. So not that it's played out, but it's just like I feel like every side of LA that we could represent has been represented. I feel
Facts.
like the biggest artists to come out of LA with a fresh perspective on music would have to have been like Draco, O3 Greedo.
Yeah.
I'll say artists like that. And then everyone else is kind of like riding their wave right now.
Yeah.
Uh,
Facts.
maybe even like rest in peace, Money Sign Suede.
Mm-hmm.
But then it had been like almost 10 years before that, before we had like Schoolboy Q, YG,
Yeah.
uh, you know, and then like it was like 10 years before that we had like The Game
Yeah.
and Exhibit. So
Yeah.
it's almost as if like LA comes out with something fresh like every 10 years. But since I don't feel like I could claim LA, it's like it's just since that's LA County, this is the Inland Empire, the IE. A lot of
Right.
people would probably associate the IE with like Rancho Cucamonga, you know, next Friday. They
Yeah.
move over there. And that's kind of actually how it is over there at
Yeah.
Rancho. Like, especially back then in like the early 2000s, you had a bunch of fucking like weddles and shit over there that just, and then also too, like, you know, they had like the Mexican neighbors and then what's her name? Miss Ho or whatever
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
fuck. Like,
Yeah.
so it's kind of it's interesting that they didn't go like, oh, all the neighbors are white or something. Like it kind of like it gave you a good a representation. So Ontario's kind of been developing. So over here, it used to all be dairy farms. And
Okay.
if you go like if you drive like 5 minutes down, you'll see like nothing but dairy farms. But they're trying to push that out. They're trying to develop Ontario into like the next LA. Like they're already developing everything here. And it smells like cow shit all the time. A lot of people say that it smells like
Yeah.
it's pretty much country. Like but they're trying to make it like suburban. So,
Yeah.
but growing up, it was really interesting, man. Because growing up, there was the raza, the Chicano, the Mexican community was super big over here on the south side, and they're trying to push everybody to the north side, like
Yeah.
kind of like kind of almost gentrifying it.
Yeah. I was
But
just gonna say that. Yep.
yeah, they're trying to. I don't want to say they're trying to, but that's basically what's happening. It's just like a lot of there's a lot of influx of like Vietnamese or Asian ethnic different ethnic groups that are coming over here, and everyone's kind of like getting pushed to the north side. But as a kid, it was kind of like um you pretty much like spoke Spanish in certain places. But it'd
Mm-hmm.
be weird too because there would be certain places here that if you spoke Spanish and people would look at you like, what, like what are
Yeah.
they saying and all that shit. It's
Yeah.
like it'd be really funny. Like just so growing up was very interesting over here, very interesting indeed. Yeah.
No, that's dope, bro. I've been all up and through Ontario, but I didn't know anything about the history like that. Like, that's dope. I kind of just passed through. I never really had any reason to go through there or stay, but now I know, like, it's developing. So yeah, that's dope. I think that, it's kind of pros and cons to that development because it kind of, like you said, push out the community that was there before. So it's like the history and the foundation of it kind of gets pushed out, and then all of this new stuff comes in and the whole atmosphere changes. But in some ways that could be good, but it just depends, I guess, on where exactly it's occurring. But I know that in the countryer areas of Georgia where I'm from, it has been beneficial to see my city kind of growing, because I mean, it was really nothing there when I was growing up. Now I'm going there and I'm like, when did you guys get this? Like, whoa, y'all got stuff
Yeah.
like, okay, like this is really developing. And I'm like, in a couple of years, this will be a whole different city and nobody that I know will be here because everybody's already leaving, it's already becoming like that. So it's interesting the way that works, the whole little whenever they come in and gentrify areas and change it up. That's crazy to me.
Yeah, there's life is ever changing.
Yeah,
Life
it
is never
is.
gonna stay the same.
Mm-hmm.
Uh I feel like on the north side, that's where pretty much it's all concentrated. Like you have like all the crime, all the poverty is kind of in within a few streets. It's not like kind of when people think of like LA or something, you'll have like a whole grip of like cities, whether it be Compton, South Central, different areas where it's like it's all fucked up, like
Yeah, it's all fun.
everywhere.
Yeah.
And it's like it might be one block where it's cool or something like that. It's kind of the opposite in Ontario. It's like if it Ontario's a big city. We have our own international airport for those who don't know.
Oh
So it's a big
shit.
yeah, it's a big fucking city. Like if
Yeah.
you ever don't want to fly to LAX, you could go into Ontario. It might be a little bit more expensive, but there's like the flights are never delayed, shit like that. That's where all like the business people
They
drop in.
land
They don't go to
there.
LAX, they go
Yeah.
here. Because
Yeah.
they don't nobody got time to be fucking
Yeah, dealing with
going
all
to
of that.
LAX.
Yeah, that shit is man. I stayed in South Central for 10 months and I got the hell up out of there. I was in
Oh yeah.
Gardenia.
Oh yeah, rough area. My cousin told me I don't want to say what part of LA. I mean, I guess I could, but he lived in South, well, because his grandma, which would be like, I don't know how the family tree is, because we're like his his mom and my dad are cousins.
Mhm.
So I don't know if he's like my 22nd cousin or whatever the fuck. I don't know how that shit
Right.
works. People want to be, oh, he's my third cousin. Like what? Like growing up, he's just my cousin, bro.
Yeah,
Like
just
that's
my cousin. That's that's how I am.
yeah.
That's my cousin.
Exactly. So his grandma has property over there in South Central, and over there they got that's East Coast Crips over there.
Yeah.
So like he would tell me shit like he would get off the bus from work, and one time he seen somebody, a dude just laid out on the floor like and in a pool of blood, and like that fool was he was
Mm-mm.
gone. Like by the time he went to like go see whatever, that fool, he was already, rest in peace. He was already out of here.
Yeah.
Or like he seen some shit where he saw two bums fighting and one got knocked out and the other one came back. This is fucked up. I laugh, but like he came back with a knife and fucking, you know what I mean? Like it's just
Yeah,
like
like
I
it's
don't know if I could
gritty.
ever live. It gets active like a motherfucker.
Yeah, it's been times where it's like it's been times where I could tell that had I not had a distinctive look or something like distinctive on it probably would have got me killed because it's been times where people have almost like on some mistaken identity shit. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I
Oh
thought you
yeah,
were somewhere else. I'm like, hell no, I ain't from here. I'm just going to work, buddy. You know what I mean?
yeah. You really got to be careful about
Yeah.
wearing the right hat, the right colors, the right
Yeah.
everything, especially in the active
Yeah, those areas is
hoods
some
over there.
yeah.
Really need to pay. And even in Ontario too, which I kind of like almost learned the hard way because I was in the King Taco over here, which is like this like famous restaurant. I don't know if you ever had King Taco.
Nah, I never had King Taco.
If you ever come back to California, you got to have anybody that's out there. You're not from Cali. You come here. King Taco's like the closest chain Mexican restaurants that like are the closest to authentic Mexican food that you could get
Damn.
here
Okay.
in Cali. So there's one right by the hood. It's on D Street in fucking what is it? Mission over
Hmm.
here. And I was wearing a red shirt, which is I don't want to get too deep into the politics, but that's the Norteños,
Yeah.
which is like they're like the enemies
Yeah.
of the neighborhood. And I was wearing a red shirt, and this dude was looking at me crazy. And he was walking up on me like fucking,
Like
I looked
looking
at
at
my dad and I was like, "Lo, I'm gonna step out of this line because if I get hit, if I get poked up right now, at least I don't have to. You don't have to see me,
yeah.
get hit." But it
It's
was
really
so crazy
like
because
that.
he was looking at me like crazy, and then he looked at me like he looked at my face, and he was like, "Fucking." He looked so stupid, like
Yeah.
you know what I mean. I was like, "Was this fool gonna fucking like shoot me right now, or what the fuck?"
Man, they be
That shit
having
is wild.
that on-site energy over there, and it's like, damn, like they do not play. It's on site. So if you got enemies and they see you, is wherever you at,
Yeah.
that's happening.
And it's so weird because to outsiders, people think, oh, Ontario, it just smells like cow shit. And it's just like, you got the mills, the improv, the mall. But people don't know, like, Ontario is a big city. And if you're not aware of the signs, if you're not aware of these things, then like probably don't even realize what city you're in, which is the crazy
Yeah.
shit. It's almost like a secret, not a secret society, but if you can't read the signs, you just can't read the signs. That don't
Yeah.
mean it's not active. It just means
Yeah.
you can't read.
That's
Like,
true. That's very true. Because sometimes it's in your face. You don't even know you're in danger. You got to really know how to read it and know what's going on in the streets, know the politics to even know that something's happening. But whenever it comes to rap names, you know, we all have our own unique names. So how did you get the name Big Serbs? What's behind that?
well, that was my graffiti name.
Mm.
Before when I started writing, I had a shitload of it, which is funny because I know a lot of people get like a bunch of rap names. I had a
Yeah.
bunch of graffiti names,
Mm.
and Serbs was the last graffiti name that I have, or like the graffiti name I've had uh since I was like a teenager. Like I've
Yeah.
had it for like 11 years now.
Mm. Okay.
I've
So
been writing
that's
Serbs.
fitting. Yeah.
So when I started writing graffiti when I was 12.
Okay.
I wrote tons. Then I wrote Deco. Then I wrote I wrote Moscow for like a week, but that name was too fucking long. In graffiti, like 4 or 5 letter names is good. Anything after that is just like
It's too long.
it's too fucking long. I don't know too many people. It's always either 1 or 2 syllable words. Like you have the infamous like Clips, GK, Revoke, Saber, Retina, Enum, Tumor. You know, it's all either 1 or 2 syllable words. You know, Miss
Yeah.
17, fucking Claw. Uh, there's so many names. There's some like or like in the family crew we have, you know, Mufasa, KO, Rigor, Evo, Recon. So it's like there's no one's gonna be called like fucking, you know, Mr. Superfly or no shit like that. Like, nah, you're not gonna be writing no name like that. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
you don't have to use like 2 cans on that, 2, 3 cans on that shit. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
too
yeah.
long. That's
That's
too
too.
long.
That's a too damn long name. But so yeah, my cousin named me. Oh no, then I became Roic. So ROEK. Rolling on every corner. That was 2012, and then 2013. I got burnt with that name. The wannabe high school cops. They searched me and they took everything. I had some of the most dope pieces in my backpack and shit, and they took everything and like confiscated all my shit. And
Damn.
they're like, you know, you fit the description of some 6 foot fat Mexican dude that's been riding around, you know, the school. They're like, come into the office, and they searched me and they took all my shit. You're not the 6 foot fat Mexican dude. You may go back to class now. And I'm like,
Yes.
wow, what the fuck? So then I got Serves, my cousin Mufasa, shout out to him. Um, he's like, yeah, you need a new name. And he was just thinking like Surge, Serve, Serve, Serbs. That's your name. And he fucking wrote that shit. And it was with a U, but then I didn't like how the U looked. Cause like Mufasa, MU, Serbs, SU. So it was kind of
Yeah.
like it looked better with an E. And then that was me ever since then. And I kind of never really stopped writing graffiti. I have like some of that shit around my black books.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, and then I started producing. I went under the name Jellyman, like from Nemo, Finding
Okay.
Nemo,
Okay.
Jellyman.
Yeah.
But like it was because like I like that because I like donuts and I would always get high and get donuts, and it was just such a trash origin story. Like, you know, so the graffiti shit was a lot better. That was me as a producer, and then I did that like after a year, and I just serves. I just everything is under that name. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
And then that stands for steady elevation, reaching beyond serenity,
Oh, I
supreme
love.
engineer, redefining balance sounds. I got a whole bunch of shit.
Oh, I
Yeah.
like that. Yeah, both of that. That's tight. I love that shit. Okay.
And then
Okay.
Big Serbs is blessed intellectual genius, spitting each rhyme, becoming successful.
I like that. I can tell that. A lot of things, like everything means something when it comes to you. Like you don't do anything just to do it. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
kind of like calculated. So I should have known that it stood for something, but I didn't think to ask that, but I'm glad you told us.
yeah, yeah. It kind of like the words come first, and then the meaning comes to you second.
That's true.
It's
Very true.
it's just I don't know. I feel like that's just life. It's like you find the meaning in things
Later.
without you even knowing. It's like
Yeah.
you find who you are in life, and then it becomes a part of you, and that's just kind of like what my name became. It became less of a less of a name and more of a meaning.
Yeah, that's true. I rock with that. Man, okay. So the graffiti came first and then the engineering and then the rapping. Like which order, how did that all fall in place? How did you get into the whole rapping, producing and all of that stuff?
Well, my homie rap, and he was really good in high school. Everyone, he was like, I don't know why people do this, but like, or maybe it's just some kid shit, but they're like, "Oh, have you heard this fool spit? He's like the best spitter," and he'll be like your one of your homies. You're like, "What the fuck? I never knew that." I'm like,
Yeah.
since when? Who? Hey, I heard you were Eminem, fool. Like, when did that? When did Eminem? I don't know. You know, when did that start, bro? And then,
Yeah.
oh, nah, it's just, you know, something I keep on the low, dog. You know what I mean? Don't tell nobody else. I'm like, but everyone else knows but me. How did that? I'm not gonna tell nobody else, bro. What the fuck?
Yeah.
So uh the homie rap, I had my sister's computer that had GarageBand,
Uh-huh.
and then he had a mic, so it was kind of like I didn't know shit about producing or engineering or any of that. I was just passionate about music, and the homie needed somewhere to record, and then we
Mhm.
put it together like that. um so basically I engineered first. I'll never forget the first song he rapped over, or the beat he rapped over, was "Ignorance is Bliss" by Kendrick Lamar.
Mm.
It's a pretty sick ass beat. I think
Yeah.
it's either Willie B. I want to say Willie B made the beat.
Mhm.
Very very little known slept on producer, but I might even have that shit too on like my old computer. But yeah, like we just knocked that out, and then he was like, "Yo, you know, you should fucking." Oh no, I was producing before that. My bad. I was producing first, but my beats were garbage. They were all like bullshit ass garage band loops put together. And the first ever beat I ever made actually sounded pretty dope, but it was like a house, like
Yeah.
techno house type
Yeah.
Afro beat, like Afro techno house type shit. You could
Uh-huh.
still listen to it. It's called Sprinkles, under my name. I'll shoot it to you,
Yeah,
but it
definitely.
sounds very interesting. Not at all what I do now. So basically, producing first, engineering second. Then I started rapping. I had actually been writing because Mufasa had been rapping too. Uh, Around 2012, we would always bump like Nas or Redman, or like Nas, Redman, Apollo Brown, and we
Mhm.
would hit up in the black books and shit. I don't know if you know what a black book is.
What's the black book?
All right,
Put
the
me on
black book.
game.
I gotta bring it out. Hold on. Oh, here it is. All right, so basically, a black book is just a blank book you could get at your local art store. Um, but basically, it was meant for you to practice your tags before you hit up on the wall. So
Oh,
this is probably, I did this in 2013. This says my name,
that shit
Serbs.
hard as fuck. Damn. Yeah, I
Like it's
love
all
that.
SERB and then S.
That shit is hard as fuck. See, this is the type of stuff I would like have somebody come and do my whole house like this. I like
Yeah, instead
I'm
of
a art
getting
I'm a
people locked
art
up.
connoisseur, man. I love paintings and art graffiti. Like I got mad photo shoots in like graffiti alleys and shit. Like I love
Hell
graffiti.
yeah. Yeah, just yeah, like so why did I even start talking about the black books and shit?
Man, I'm glad you did. That's fire. Cause we learning. That's what it's all about. We learning about you.
Yeah, well,
Like,
just like the black books were just like what we practice on. Oh, so yeah, we would listen to Redman and shit, and we would hit up in the black books, and I'd have a black book, two of my other cousins would have black books, and we would just be listening to either like Tonight's the Night, Nas is like,
okay.
shit like that, and that would be the jam, and so I feel like that's where the energy comes from. It is like real street, real like the essence of like street culture. You know what I mean? I feel
Yeah.
like that's where a lot of my style derives from, or our style that we cultivated back over 10 years ago. And they started way before me. Like I think my cousin Mufasa and like Rigor, I want to say they started like '09.
Mm-hmm.
I was super late.
Yeah.
Like 3 years in graffiti years is like dog years squared. Like
Yeah.
you're way cuz like
Ahead of the game.
yeah, they're way ahead of me. I want to show you. Everyone bugs out when I show them this piece. My cousin Rigor, I always looked up to him. He's the one who brought me into the game. He was the one who showed me the ropes, gave me my name Tons, and this is him right here.
Oh yeah, he fire. Ooh shit. That shit is fucking fire. It's like you feel like you can go inside the picture. Damn, that shit crazy. I love how that shit is like 5D. Fuck 3D. That shit is crazy.
That
That's
shit's
impressive. That's
9D.
very impressive, man.
My
Damn.
cousin, he's my cousins are all like creative, especially Rigor. He's a creative genius, and I always try to shout him out anytime I get up on here and I tell my story, because I can't really tell you my story without telling the story of my family. Like our
Yeah.
family is like, I'm real family oriented, and especially
Man.
growing up, it was like I was super impressionable as a kid, and I got in a lot of dumb shit,
Mm-hmm.
and we went through that together, like me and my family. So it was like my cousin Mufasa, he had been rapping, and
Mm-hmm.
I just tried to be like my older cousin. So I would, if they were painting, I was painting.
Mm-hmm.
Mufasa, he's over here writing raps and shit. I'm writing raps, but they all sucked. Like my first shits, I couldn't even tell you what they were. They were all like, they were just trash. Like, you know, I, I get stoned to the bone, go home, hold the chrome on the phone. Like
Oh
this
yeah.
dumb, just
ABC,
yeah, yeah,
A
yeah.
B A B A B. Yeah.
Versus now, it's my style is completely different. You
Yeah.
know, twin carbon nine sitting side by side, my slime belly full carbonated wine color fitted, investing in the business. Chin check chavalas moving chacuada style. They mad as fuck since I link with Chava style. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. Let's talk your shit.
yeah, the style just got way more intricate. The style just got way more uh uh deeper now versus when you first start and you think you're the shit, but you're really not.
Yeah, when
Very,
you
very few artists come out the gate hot.
fire and shit. Like you really have to develop your sound, your style. Like especially if you've been doing it for a little while, like you get to play around with how you sound and everything. And then, some people they get in the game and they don't play around with their sound. They sound like somebody else. And no disrespect to anybody, but you'll find that often where they didn't take the time to develop their sound, so naturally they sound like somebody else. And I feel like all of us have the ability to kind of sound like some of the people that we're inspired by at times, but that's also sometimes intentional. Like you're paying homage, you know what I mean? Whenever you sometimes are doing that. But there's been some of the songs that I've listened to with you where it's like it's your own style and it's your own unique voice and everything, but it reminded me of some dope ass artists, and not on a like, oh, you sound like them, like emulating them. Like, no, you gave me the vibe. Like the first time I heard that artist, that's how I felt when I'm listening to your song. So it was a couple of tracks that we did receive that we're gonna go through. I'm gonna hop into them in just a second, but I also want to know a little bit more about just like coming into the music industry. We all work different ways, so a part of that is like having certain studio equipment or having maybe, you know, we all have our own different flow. Like, do you have certain equipment that you've always used whenever it came to creating music, or is there something that you always have to have when it comes to recording music or even creating music in general?
Well, number one is knowledge. So
Mm-hmm.
you need to know what you're doing first,
Mm-hmm.
because you could fucking be in a $10,000 studio and you not know what to do with nothing. You don't know how to do shit. It's like it's like when you're first learning how to drive a car.
Mm-hmm.
Are you gonna give that person a Ferrari?
Right. Definitely not. You need to
Hell
start
nah.
off in a Honda.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. There's like a George Lopez joke where his daughter was telling him she was first learning how to drive, and she's like, "Oh yeah, well, I was looking at the new Ferrari or something." And George Lopez is like, "Okay, well, you keep looking."
Keep on looking, because that's all it's gonna be.
Yeah, he's like, because I'm looking at the Honda Hoopty that we've had for like
Yeah.
20 years or whatever.
Right, in the
So
front yard.
it just goes to back to, you got to start out with the basics.
Mhm.
Whatever you could do, everything on the lap. Like I tell everybody, you could get, and this is not me endorsing any brands. No one's paying me to say this,
Right.
but I started out with a MacBook, a Focusrite 2i2, and all that is a fucking audio interface that'll put power to whatever microphone you use. You really don't even need an audio interface. You could get like a USB microphone and a laptop, and you're in a fucking like a DAW, like a, you know, digital audio workplace,
Mhm.
and that's it. Um, there's nothing specific I go to. I'm always trying to learn new things, learn new little techniques, and just little whatever it is, like just always learning new things and learning new equipment,
Mhm.
and learning why it is better to get this or do this rather than that.
Mhm.
I've never like presets, like presetting any of my um plugins or anything like that. Like I don't copy and paste. Like, oh, I know how my voice sounds like, so I'm gonna copy and paste the compression and the
Yeah.
EQ and all
Yeah.
that. No, it's always I go in and by ear. I'm just okay tweaking it. It's more or less the same thing, because how different is your voice gonna be from
Right.
today and tomorrow? But it's always I'm going off of the vibe, the feeling in my ears, and that's
Yeah.
what it always has to be. It has to go off of the vibe, and you got to know what you're doing, and really study it. Like if you're not going to be in a music to really have a passion for it, to drive and learn and shit, just like go fix cars or something. Like
That's
because this
true.
isn't, it's not for you really if you're not willing to learn and educate yourself on your passion.
Mhm. Very true. I'm gonna have to agree with that 100,000,000%. Because a lot of times I'm very picky about certain artists. I don't often like work with other artists. The most that I work with other artists is this podcast. And even with the podcast, I'm selective with who I have on, because you know it's all in the energy. I really like people that are just super passionate about what they do, and they love what they do. It's not really for any clout, any bragging rights, anything like that. Like this is what they do because this is what they love. And you can literally, the more you do this shit, you can literally spot those people out. You can tell who doing it for the right reasons, or the reasons similar to what you agree with or what you're comfortable with, and who out here just, you know, fucking off or trying to do something for clout or whatever. And you know, some of those artists, you know, they're cool or whatever, but I really like the people that are like real, genuine, true fans of this shit. Like, you know, grew up on this shit, been loving it all their life, decided to start taking it serious, and now they put all their passion and everything into it. It takes blood, sweat, tears, many sacrifices. Like I've said before, it's a thankless thing where nobody don't really give a fuck that you do music or rap or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, so whenever you come across people that do care and they support you, it's something to really like take in and appreciate, and it humbles you because you're like, damn, okay, people do kind of like me, okay, because you know it ain't nothing that come with this to like me and support me. Like this shit is free, you know what I mean? So whenever people are doing it, even though it's free, you see a lot of people that don't do it, you know what I mean? You'll have homies, friends
Mhm.
that don't like your shit, don't share your shit, don't show up to the shows. So yeah, man, I knew that I wanted to interview just based off the energy I see that you do. We kind of have some similarities, you know what I mean, when it comes to this shit. What got you into the podcasting? What was that about? Like, how did that start? Because I see that you got the God Sour podcast, and they look like you real active on there.
Oh yeah, I'm activist. I actually have like 8 episodes ahead,
Damn,
like locked in every
that's
because it's a weekly
fire.
show.
Yeah,
It's a weekly show, and I have so much shit going on, and especially now I'm getting a new jale. And if anyone who doesn't know Spanish, it's the jale is a new job, but this is more than a job; it's a career. So pretty soon the opportunities that I could take or give out are going to be very limited because of the time I'm going to be
yeah,
having with my new work and career and shit like that. So I'm just getting everything ready. Going back to the podcast, it was just kind of I just needed a creative outlet that wasn't music, something I could just go on and talk shit.
yeah,
And that's what podcasts are, like people
yeah,
like talking shit,
yeah,
but I didn't like gossip.
yeah.
I didn't like there's podcasts where it's like if you've ever seen like No Jumper, all their content now is they talk
Gossip.
shit about whoever was on their podcast before
Yep.
or some shit or like street shit that has nothing to do with them. And I made it a point to be like, when I'm on this shit, it's gonna be my own. I don't want to. This isn't the Streets Hour podcast. This isn't the
Mhm.
fucking rumor, the Gossip Hour podcast.
Yeah.
This is the God's Hour. And originally it started off as a hip hop show, but it got too informative. I don't ever want nobody coming on my show to think that they're gonna learn something that's out in the world. Like I'm not gonna tell you that Jay-Z's dropping a new album. I probably will talk about that, but
Yeah.
it's more so about my life and what I like. And
Mhm.
if you relate to it, you relate to it, and that's just all it is. That's how it started. Um, but it's just an interesting thing. I started it when I got sober, and it's been a real interesting thing. And now like I have people wanting to come on my podcast, and I would say it's an invite only. I used to take that very disrespectfully when I would ask to be on podcasts, and they'd be like, "Oh no, we don't want it. We don't want you. We want the artist with 50,000 followers. Like we're
Yeah.
trying to build our program." And I'm like, I would be like, "What kind of shit is that, bro?" Like
Yeah. That's some
the
fuck
worst
shit.
shit, the worst shit I ever got was oh well, right now we're not interested in having you on, but in the future we're willing to have you on. I'm
That's
like, you
crazy.
might as well have told me fuck you now and fuck you later too. Like because you know what I mean? Like what kind of shit is that? What the fuck?
I swear. And like it's crazy because similar reasons why I got behind podcasting. It was 2018, and I wanted to be able to do the same thing. I wanted to be able to talk shit, but I didn't want to talk shit like on the internet, like everybody else, like Twitter and all of that stuff. Like it's fun to do it on there, but I'm like, I want to vocally be able to dialect and explain and elaborate me in my rants, because sometimes my rants, if you read them, it's like, okay, where's she going with that? Do I agree or do I disagree? Because she kind of left me in the air. So I was like, by having a podcast, I'll be able to elaborate some of these things that I'm ranting about. And I talk a lot about my own life. Like I use my own self as an example of some shit where I'm like, I like to kind of give people little things like my testimony. You know what I mean? Like, this is what I went through. Maybe you hearing my story might save you. You know what I mean? But I like to put myself out there as a sacrifice often. I don't know why I do that, but I'm always like, yeah, don't do this shit, man. Like, I went
Yeah.
through this, don't do that. But then it got to a point where every now and again, an artist will actually be interviewed, and I'll interview like some of the homies. But 2020 happened, and we all was stuck in the house, and I'm like, fuck, what I'm gonna do? I just started performing in California in 2019, even though I had been there since 2014. I've been trying to survive and shit. So I finally got to a space where I got my own place, my car, I'm comfortable and everything. So I was like, shit, I'm gonna start performing. I'm feeling good. So right when I start performing, fucking COVID comes, and I'm like, fuck, how can I keep my name out there? How can I keep meeting people? So I said, fuck it, I'm gonna start interviewing artists full time on the podcast. And that's how I started doing it full time. But I'm very happy that I'm like that, because like you said, it's podcasters out there that they only want big names or some shit like that. My project that I just dropped like in May, I was trying to find somewhere for me to promote it, right? So I'm like asking some of the podcasts that I see that I know, and people acting like, oh yeah, we booked up, or we're done interviewing for this year, we're doing interviews next year, all type of stuff. So I was like, damn, the only podcast that I know that was really like helping artists no matter what was me. So
Yeah,
I was
exactly.
like,
You got to turn
damn.
yourself.
Yeah, so I was like, fuck it, I got to bring my shit back because I had been going through moments where I'm doing it actively, then I kind of stop a little bit because I'm an artist, so I'm all over the place. One minute this is not interesting no more, so I'm doing something else. This is on the back burner, but yeah, I love podcasting for the same reason. And I do really appreciate the fact that you said that, like, I'm gonna make my own because that's the type of person that I am too. Like, I like that in you. People that create their own lanes instead of like waiting on somebody to get them a handout, I'm gonna always support those type of people because like those are the legends. Those are people that get shit done. Type A, fuck waiting. I'm gonna make my own fucking podcast. Like that to me is boss. To me, that speaks levels of just the type of person that I would want to know. You know what I mean? Like, who wouldn't want to be around somebody that's like, oh, opportunity ain't out there? I'll create my own. Fine. You know what I mean? I don't know. Me personally, I fuck with that.
Exactly. And it wasn't like I was trying to be on other podcasts.
Yeah.
I always wanted my own. And it's
Yeah.
funny because as a kid, I love listening to Big Boy's Neighborhood. I don't know if you're familiar with
Hell
Big Boy.
yeah. Hell yeah.
I just loved his show and just like just him as a personality, it would blow my mind. And I kind of like would replicate that like on the phone, like on the flip phones, they would have like you could record like I remember like the little phone I had, I would fucking record songs just to have it on my phone. Like I don't know if
Uh-huh.
you ever
Hell
did that,
yeah. Hell
but
yeah. I'm
I would
old as hell.
record. It'd be shitty. The audio would be shitty as fuck, but at
Mhm.
least you could listen. You could fucking go around
Yeah,
before, like if you didn't have a CD player or something, you could at least have it on the phone.
hell
And
yeah. Or you could put other people on it. Like, you ever heard this right here? You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah. So with me, it was like I remember one day I was bored and I just did like a big boy impression, like you know what I mean? It's your
Uh-huh.
boy over here. We outside and like and I think I always wanted to do something like either podcasting or radio,
Yeah.
and it was always in me. It just I never found really the time or I never figured it out. So uh one day I was just like, how do you do a podcast? And I looked it up and I was like, well, wait a minute. I record songs. I could just record the audio. You know what I mean? Once I figured out how to do the video, episode 47, all the episodes are audio only up until
Mhm.
episode 47 of the God's Hour.
Mhm.
And those are super easy. Like I would upload those like super fast.
Yeah.
Now with the video, it takes longer, got to edit
Right.
clips, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
So it became like more of a structural now versus before it would just be like, okay, record,
Yeah.
stop, put it through.
Mhm.
And I would still edit it too, like on my computer and shit, but just it's more of a tedious process now. But I never was in it because, oh, these fools are doing podcasts. Now
Right.
I need one. It was always in me, and I just chose like all the stars aligned for me to do it. And I just,
Right.
I just did it. And then I wanted to get on other, like, just like how we're doing it now. I
Yeah.
wanted to get on other people's podcasts, but people would give me, I felt really offended because they would do podcasts with some of my music homies, and I'd be like, "Well, can I come on? Like, I would love to be on and shit." Oh no, we're not looking for you. We're looking for the pretty girl with the big titties that
Yeah.
got a lot of followers. I'm like, really? Like,
Yeah.
what are you trying to say? Like, I'm not popping. Big Serbs ain't popping enough.
Come on now.
I'm not handsome. Like, this ain't a handsome face for y'all.
Come
Fuck
on
y'all. Fuck
now.
that. Fuck that lame ass podcast y'all got on. You know what I mean? So I'll never forget
Facts.
the people who fronted on me. And I'll
Yeah.
probably never do their podcast ever, but uh I'm like the first independent podcast from the IE that I know, because everyone else, they got networks behind them, they got money behind them.
Yeah.
Not me. This is straight like all me. Like I do everything. I'm the producer. I'm the fucking captain. I'm
Right.
everything. I'm the janitor. I'm the landlord. I mop the damn floor. You know what I mean?
Hell
Like
yeah. I know. I can relate. Shit. We get it out the mud. We do all this shit ourselves.
exactly. That it's more
Yeah.
commendable to than uh oh the way I don't like this mic. I need another mic. I don't like this setup. I need
Yeah.
another set. Like that's all bullshit. Like everything is
Yeah.
the way I want it and the way I want to fucking do it.
Yeah, and I like this better because like to me it's real direct and like like with me, like I like to create a community of artists supporting artists. So that's the reason why I even started doing a bunch of artists because I'm like, if you see another artist on my show, you need to support them. So I'll tell the other artists, like, make sure everybody's supporting everybody. And then it got to a point where people would be telling me, like, this dude walked up to me at my show and was like, oh, I saw you on the Get to Know Me podcast. And I'm like, you lying. Like, okay. Whenever it started to become like that, that's whenever I was like, okay, I really feel the impact. My first time going out somewhere and somebody's like, Get to Know Me podcast. And I'm like, oh, I'm known for the podcast and not the music. Like, what the fuck? That shit blew my mind because I'm like, I've
Yeah.
always been known as Bizzy Balboa. Like my whole life since I was a little girl, I've always been doing music. So to be recognized outside of Bizzy Balboa, and I'm still recognized as Bizzy Balboa, but it's like the podcast version of me. That shit blew my mind, and it put a battery in my back. I was like, oh yeah, I want to take this shit serious. Like, you know what I mean? I've never been recognized like that outside of the rap artists, and people don't realize like you really get caught up in these personalities because many people expect you to be this artist all the time, and then I got the other side of me that's real chill, introverted, don't really communicate to people like that, But then you see Bizzy Balboa, extroverted as fuck, so. Yeah, to be known as for the podcast and to get recognition, and a lot of artists start wanting to get on your shit. That means a lot because I mean, people could go anywhere, but I like this the real genuine artists, real hip hop heads started coming on my shit, and I was like, okay, I know that I'm in the right lane. This is around the people I want to be around, the real passionate hip hop heads. So I ain't never looking at nobody and being like, oh, you only got 200 followers. I don't give a fuck how many followers you got. If you give me everything I asked for in a timely manner, let's do it. You know what I mean? It was some artists like I had a different situation. I never had like no podcasters like really do anything like that, but I've had some artists do some shit where I'm inviting you to my podcast and you like stunting on me like I'm like not big enough for you to be on my podcast or something like that. And they won't directly say it, so they'll just lead me on like, oh yeah, I'm gonna send that. I'm gonna send that. Never send it. So now whenever people say they want to be on, I'm like, once you send it, then we can talk. But until you send it, ain't nothing to talk about because I already done got used to niggas lying and whatever. But now some of them same artists now they want to collab and want to do stuff, and I'm like, nah, that's one thing I don't do. Like if you front on me, you'll never get a chance to do it twice.
Yeah. There are some artists I will like forgive for their ignorance or whatever, but some people would just move fucking mad maniacal. That's just like, nah, you're like more of a liability to your fucking self.
Right.
Why would I have you around me? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
There's
Got
so
me
many
fucked up.
people. There's so many. Like I knew I was doing the right thing because when I would see people like copy what I do, and that's how I know people. Like even with the
Watching.
clothes, as
Yeah.
soon as I came out with shorts, people wanted fucking start doing shorts. When I started making jackets, people, damn fool, I need to start making jackets. Like like all of a sudden now, like
Yeah.
like I literally no bullshit, and I'm not trying to like pop shit or none of that, but like the game, and this is to our scene, our local scene over here. Everyone had a certain sound and shit. When I popped out and when I started being active in the public eye and shit like that, I feel like everyone started switching their style. Everyone wanted to be like more aggressive, more like street, like kind of more street raps and shit, and talk about like guns and shit like that. And I'm like, hold on now. I said that's why I had to say that in my song. Before you rap about a gun, buy a few. Like, hold on now, you can't. You know what I mean? These fucking kids over here, I got a big Glock and I step on the block and shoot at the cops. Shut the fuck up, bro.
Like, boy, you don't know shit about shit.
Please eat your peas and do your homework.
Please. I like that you described your music. You was like, oh, you feel like your music has reached a fossil state. And you also said, you use your anger, passion, and you mix it with fictional taste. I love that. I love that. I can relate to that a lot. I'm listening to your songs, and we're gonna get into the music now. Because it's time. It's time to get into the music. So the first track that I listened to was Embers, and this right here was my introduction to your rapping voice. So as soon as I hear it, I'm like, oh shit, yeah. Like, fuck. Like, your rapping voice is so fucking good. It's so amazing. Like, I love it. It's like fucking butter on pancakes. It's like it deserves it. Like, it's supposed to be here. I don't know what the fuck I'm saying, but the fucking shit is
No, that's
amazing.
dope.
Your voice is so good. Like, no homo, but you know, but
Nah, that's sick. That's sick as fuck.
yeah, your voice was like that was the first introduction. I'm like, okay, the voice is popping, and then the
I
bars
get,
was
and it's funny.
crazy.
Just to stop you right there.
Yeah, go ahead.
I get Jay-Z a lot.
That ain't who I heard.
No, a lot of, but I've heard that at least 4 or 5 times.
What's
I get a
crazy
lot of
is
different. I get Biggie. I get Pun. I get yeah, I get Biggie, Pun. But Jay-Z is like the a name I get a lot.
man.
Yeah.
Okay, I can feel the Jay-Z. Actually, I have written down on here a couple of artists, like each song what artists I could hear on there. When I heard your voice on Embers, it gave me Benny Siegel, not Jay-Z. It gave me
Oh,
It
okay.
gave me Beans. It gave me Petey Crack.
Beans is
Like,
hard.
you know, that hard gritty shit. Cause Jay-Z be rapping, you know, in the same, like the cadence maybe would be giving Jay-Z, but the grittiness of your voice and the you know what I mean? Like that shit gave me Beans. So I wanted to know what was the inspiration behind Embers.
Uh, uh. So that song, that's the intro to Green Light 4. There's a video to it. I don't know if you've seen it.
I done been on your YouTube all through it.
Oh, okay, yeah. So you've seen it. So that video was actually taken in East LA. So basically, I wanted to capture what I felt in the video through the visuals, and so that's in a I don't want to say an active hood, but it's pretty much by an active hood. Like I don't want to say I don't want to say what hood it is, but it's a very well-known old barrio over there. So making that video, I was a little worried. I'm like, someone might come up to me and be like, "Get the fuck out of here!" Like,
Yeah.
not here. Like, you better step on with that shit. Especially, you know, the hat I wore the Orioles hat and shit like that. So I just you never know with these things. So the whole I wanted to capture the element of like the risk. You know what I mean? Like this is like real risky, and it's funny because when I shot the video, instead of like feeling like I was gonna get pressed, there were people at the bus stop like looking at me like, "What the fuck is this dude?" Like people was looking at me like, "Damn!" Like I was really entertaining people out here. So I think, and it's just the way you move. Like I wasn't moving like, "Yeah, fool," like this is my shit, this is my hood. Like no, like I was moving with respect, and I just wanted to do the video. And as a matter of fact, once I did the video, I went down the street, and that was when I did my set for the homie. Shout out to the homie 30 Miles. He had a show called After Smoke. It's in Refill Art Supplies, which is a graffiti store. You could buy spray cans, black books, markers, and they had just set up, table. The DJ set 2 big ass speakers, and literally while I'm rapping, fools are buying spray cans and going down the street and hitting up on walls and shit. Like,
that's fire.
So Embers is basically Green Light 4. A lot of shit was going on in my life. I mean, we're not too far away from there, but I was really angry. And so I was like, Green Light 3 was real like jazzy, real chill, like you could smoke and just chill. I'm like, Green Light 4 is all got to be like, scrap all that. It's got to be hard. The beats got to be faster. It's got to be more aggressive. I got to switch my style up. So Green Light 4, I'm real like punchline. Like I put a lot more punchlines, a lot more aggressive and just like in your face raps with it. So it's just me being like super, like my back's against the wall and like, this is how I'm getting it out. And Embers is kind of like, that was the first, like, I think I recorded like almost like 6 songs for Green Light 4 and none of them I like. I was like, no, this ain't it. Yeah, I didn't like any of them. I still have them. I might put out like the beats for them, but I just didn't like, I'm like, no, this is too, like, no, it's just not fitting. And then Embers was the first one. I was like, oh, okay. Like, and then, I don't know if you're familiar with Makami. Damn, I got to put you on. So shout out Makami, but he's the one artist that got me super into like myself, like
Mhm.
because he's super about Haiti, he's Haitian, and like all
Mhm.
his music, especially when he was coming out, he would represent his culture, like whether talking about like the politics in Haiti
Yeah.
or like the earthquake or how shit goes down. Like he's from New Jersey,
Okay.
so like there's a huge Haitian
Yeah, the Haitian
demographic over
population
there
is big in Jersey. Yeah, I got a
in
friend out
Jersey.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just growing up, like he's super street, and like I've talked with him before on like the social media and shit, and he pushed me to do music. So in that song, I say, shout out the dump god, words of encouragement. That's my Kami. He's the dump god. And I said, anybody dissing finna fly bird shit, dig
Mhm.
the style, don't just look at the surface. That beat, I actually kind of remade the beat, is actually from another rapper who dissed my Kami. So,
Wow.
so I took the beat and I was basically like, anybody that fuck with Mock is gonna fuck with me. Like, I don't give a
Yeah.
fuck. Y'all can get it. Like,
Yeah. Okay, that's
that's
hard.
that's why Embers. That's why it starts like ready, getting more drops, sliding off the sender. Bullets catch fire. Now you turn into embers. Tag black ribs clutching on the Kimber. If anybody doesn't know like guns, a Kimber is a fucking a brand
Yeah.
that makes pistols.
Uh-huh. Yeah,
So
facts. I'm in Georgia right now, so I know all about that. It's
yeah,
gun
yeah.
gun city, gun area like Atlanta. You
Oh
better
yeah.
have you a couple. Goddamn, these motherfuckers are crazy out here.
Hell
I was
yeah.
like,
I think
y'all motherfuckers might be crazier than LA because at least in LA, you know what to do to not get in some shit. Here, I could be at the mall and I could get shot overnight. Like, what the fuck is going on? Why did I get shot? Like, you could be
yeah, yeah,
anywhere. They
yeah.
just had some fucking crazy psycho stole a transit bus yesterday. The whole Atlanta was chasing this fool. I don't know if they caught the fool yet or what, but people got killed and all type of shit. Like, Atlanta's wild as fuck. It's the most ridiculous fucking place I've ever lived, and I've lived in some crazy fucking places. But this is a fucking crazy ass motherfucking place. But yeah, the gun talk, I was with it. I think that's the reason why that song, I don't know, like I like gritty ass, raw ass music like that. So I was like, man, I could listen to this shit on a long drive. I literally wrote that down. I was like, I can listen to you're the type of artist I can listen to you on a long drive, like back to back, because that shit, I know I'm gonna make it
Mhm,
there.
mhm.
Like I ain't gonna fall asleep with this shit playing. You feel me? Yeah, that
I,
shit was hard.
I appreciate it. That I'm really super proud of that album, and I didn't want the whole album. Like, I don't want to mislead anybody into thinking that like I'm advocating for like gun violence or
Nah,
any
nah.
type of like
Yeah.
violence and all that. That's why like in the album you'll get like little sprinkles like here and there of like me dropping knowledge or fucking like I try to just keep a good balance, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? I don't want it all to be violent or any shit like that, you know what I mean? Because
I,
it'd be a misrepresentation of my character to
right, of
just
who you
go
are.
out and be like, oh, this is all, but it
Yeah,
is a big part
that's
of my
why I
life.
like that you put in your bio that you sent me that you mix it with like a fictional taste because that's dope. You know what I mean? Like mixing it up with a fictional taste and making it interesting, still bringing your truth to it, but also bringing the entertainment side to it. That's fire.
Yeah, just because there's a lot of stories I have where I could just burn myself, but I'm like, why would I do that?
Yeah,
Like,
hell no, that's not
you
smart.
know,
Don't do that.
I've run from the cops. I've done dumb shit. Um, and I've literally that's how I know God is real because I've literally skated so many things that I shouldn't have,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Facts.
So it's like this isn't a glorification. This isn't to personify or endorse anything that I grew up or seen or any shit like that. It's just more so like it's music, it's entertainment. But at the same time, I just want everybody to know that like it's not cool to be doing certain shit like that. But if you fuck with me, this is what it is. Like, you know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Like
Yeah.
on Holotops where I said uh 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 you better learn to keep your fucking mouth shut or the
Yeah.
check to slash across your coconut. I got guns. It really isn't bad a thing. Got funds. I never leave without my cake, you know?
Yeah, I fucking like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, your music is dope. The legendary thuggin' track, I really like this as well. You and the featured artist went hard, crazy, dope. It was like real nice, smooth flow on this shit. Yeah, I fuck with this. I fuck with your verse and the featured artist. Shout out to him as well.
Yeah, Chopper Style, that's the homie.
Yeah, what was the how did that song come about? What's the background of that one?
I needed him on. I hadn't been. Me and Chava had made music for years, and then we had like a little bit of a falling out due to like some sort of like, I would say like misunderstanding, miscommunication. But then
Mm.
I called him up and I was like, I hit him up. I was like, yo, let me get your number. I'm not with uh the social media and shit. Like I want like give me your number, I'm gonna
Yeah,
call you and we're
yeah,
gonna dead everything and we're gonna get some real good understanding. I've always been that. I don't like ghosting people. All the new age shit that goes on now, I don't like that shit. Like
yeah, yeah.
give me your number, we're gonna chop it
Talk
up.
it up. Yeah,
Yeah. If I don't like being around you, if I'm quiet around you, you fucked up somewhere.
yeah,
Like I don't if I don't associate myself with you at all, that you like that's not good.
yeah. That
Because
something ain't right
if
with you.
yeah, like something's in the water with that shit. But whichever, I called him up and I was like, "Yo, bro, like, what's going on with you?" And he's like, "Man, I'm good, man." And then we addressed the shit. I'm like, "Yo, like, whatever happened, bro, it happened, bro. Like, fuck all that shit. You're dope, and just as much as I was willing to make music with him, he want to make music with me.
That's
So
that.
we did like 3 or 4 songs
Mm.
uh before we started working on our album. We knocked out our album in like 5 sessions.
Whoa.
Like we got a whole album that's banging.
I bet that shit
Like
crazy because y'all both of y'all are dope. So and then that song is crazy. I can only imagine like a whole project with y'all. Crazy.
it's crazy. We have a whole album with JBL. He's from South Carolina. Shout out JBL. Java
Okay.
Styles is coming soon in August. It's called A Painter's Palisade. It's kind of
Mm.
the first album with me and JBL and the historian. They're both producers. Was called A Painter's Paradise.
Mm-hmm.
So A Painter's Palisade with me, Chava, and Jay.
Mm-hmm.
And that shit is I'm on my Nate Dogg shit. I'm singing on that shit.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
you're gonna like that one. You're gonna like I'll send you some tracks too from that one.
yeah.
Uh but what is it? With Legendary Thug, and it was like I told Chava, I was like, I need you on this album. And I just had that beat I had for years. Like I want to say like
Mm.
since 2017.
Damn.
That's
Okay.
old. That's an old ass beat I had.
Mm-hmm.
Um and like I always try to pay homage to the artists that I love listening to. So uh I think it's Extortion where Prodigy goes, I hold the nine Ruger, and then he goes off of
Yeah.
that. So I paid homage,
Prodigy.
I
Okay.
hold the nine Luger, slugs piercing your medulla, left-handed shooter, playing games over time, hitting line drives, Travis style, roller tights, like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, yeah. You was going off on that shit, but my favorite, whenever you put in there, you were saying in your bio, you said some of your people, the inspiration that you grew up listening to was like Big L, NWA, G
yeah,
Unit, Cypress Hill, Wu-Tang, Death Row. So whenever I heard Peace, I was like, I can hear the G Unit 50 Cent type of inspiration in here, especially when
mhm.
you started harmonizing. I love when a person use their voice and is not afraid to use their voice. So whenever I heard that shit just immediately I was like, this is my favorite song of his. So out of the songs that you sent me, the Peace is my favorite. It got the feel good vibe as soon as it came on. I love how you go in between the bilingual flow and you jump back in with the English, and then it also gave me some DMX vibes too, like that, the Dark Man X, because it was like a little gritty. It was like a little, but it also had that harmonizing to it. So I was kind of conflicted. I was like, it's 50 DMXy vibes, but it's his own lane too. So I really like that you wasn't afraid to use your voice. But yeah, I know that I probably would like more of the songs where you're doing both, where you're rapping and harmonizing. So if you're
Oh, I
telling
got
me that,
those.
yeah, if you're telling me that
Yeah,
you got a lot of those with the
yeah.
upcoming joint project, I probably love
Yeah.
that because I love
Oh,
that song.
I have songs like that already
Oh
too.
yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
this one,
send
the
you those.
first one that I heard that she was doing that, but it definitely was like one of the ones that really stuck out to me. I was like, oh shit. So I wrote next to it favorite.
I appreciate it. That's probably my favorite song. It's actually that sample's old. That's an old ass sample. I'm not gonna say it's funny because when I do my shows and I'll be like, yeah. By the way, I made after the show, I'm like, I made all these beats. People, what?
Yeah,
Like people,
yeah.
they're like, somebody went up, yo. You think you could tell me what sample? And I'm always like, yeah, it was I forgot. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's the nicest way I could say it. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna
yeah.
tell nobody. Like, bro, go find them shits, bro.
I don't know no producer that is like just openly okay with telling people
I'm not gonna do
where
that.
they samples come from. Like I got one producer that I work with where he heavily sampled, and they always are great, but he ain't open to telling you where he got them at all. So
I
yeah,
will tell people this though. The crates people be digging, they're burnt out. All the R&B, all the soul, all the jazz, that's burnt out, bro. You gotta find. I found the crates that work for me, and
yeah,
that's why I get the sound that I get
yeah,
because it's not really jazz, it's not really R&B. It has those elements,
yeah. It does.
but I don't wanna put it out there because people have already taken so much from
From you.
either like my style or shit like that and I'm real protective. Like I get
Yeah,
really upset and I'm gonna hurt somebody, like
yeah,
for real.
yeah. I feel
Because it,
you.
yeah, because you're taking my intellectual property and I'm not flying with that. Like
Yeah,
I'm because I grew up the way I grew up, it was like you can't let nobody punk you. You can't be
yeah.
nobody's bitch. Like if you're
Can't.
gonna people get mad at you because you punched them in the face, but people forget they stepped on your sneakers. So it's like,
Hello. Yeah,
come on now.
yeah.
Uh, uh, but with Peace, it was like the perfect. That's one of the lightning in the bottle moments where it was like I was listening. The way I like digging for samples, I'll listen to the whole album.
Hmm.
I'll listen to a whole album, the whole vinyl, and I'm listening to it, and I'm like, I just get to the part where it's like the flute, and I love flutes. That's the
Hmm.
only thing I'm gonna give y'all, but I love flutes.
Okay.
So it's like, da, na, 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 na,
Hmm.
and then in the back you hear like the like dum dum da, da, and then just that matched together. I found like the illest drums to hit with it, and I just put it together. And I don't know if it was like the way I do it is like I'll make the beat one day, and the next day I'll write the whole song already, and like the song will get done top to bottom in like 3 days.
I like that.
Like if it's
It's a
if it's that
process.
good.
Yeah.
So it was like I feel like I feel like I make better songs talking about like love type songs. Like the street shit is cool, but having punchlines and being lyrical miracle, that's all good. But my pocket, I really came from the school of 50 Cent. That's why I
Yeah.
love when people could pick that apart.
Yeah.
Because I grew up on, window shopper,
Yeah.
mad at me. I
I
think
think
I
I
know
know
why.
why.
Like, you know what I mean? I
Yeah.
came up, I'll ask 21 questions and
Hmm.
they all about us. Like
Yeah.
that I grew up on that. So I just always wanted to flip it in my own way. And that's what I really love about music is like I could take a little bit from this artist and
Hmm.
inspire the next artist.
That's true.
You know,
Because that's how it is. You know what I mean? Like Pac said, I can't tell you I'm gonna change the world, but I'm gonna spark the brain that might change the world, and that's true. Because a little bit. That's why I don't get mad whenever I do see artists like sampling people or some artists. Lately it's been a lot of artists remaking older songs like old hits, and people have been like, damn, what an originality, and I feel that too. But at the same time, I'm not against anybody like recreating somebody's song to pay homage to them. I think that's very admirable and honorable for an artist to receive something like that. Not all of them perceive it that way. Some of them want money, especially if you copy or you try to pay homage to an artist that ain't been getting it and they ain't used to getting it. They're gonna be like, oh no, this is a money grab. Let me go ahead and try to get some money off this. For example, like
yeah,
when NLE Chopper was trying to sample I forgot who that was recently and they took it the wrong way. Mike Jones. Yeah, Mike Jones. He was like, "Oh no,
okay,
he's still in my song," and it was like really the young kid was just trying to pay homage, you know what I mean? But he took it the wrong way and had the song removed from all the outlets. And I was like, damn, you know. But yeah, I can get where some artists where it's like offensive to them because they ain't really used to it, maybe, or you know, they may have been used to people taking from them. So any homage, anything like that, it comes off offensive. But then, you know,
Well,
I can see, yeah,
we look at things like Super Freak
yeah,
to Hammer Time
mm-hmm,
to Anaconda, Nicki
yeah,
Minaj.
yeah,
So it's kind of like I understand how it could be offensive, but regardless, inspiration is inspiration. Like imitation is the highest form of flattery. Like
flattery, yeah,
I don't ever try to, even when people take my shit, I don't try to jump out the window all the way on them. You know what I mean? I'm just like, oh,
right,
okay, like I see you.
right,
Unless it's like malicious. Now I do know like one or two people that try to take my shit and like run with it because like they really don't like me, and then that's when we're gonna
that's when
have
it's the
to
problem,
we'll,
yeah.
we'll have to take a walk.
Yeah, and we all can tell the ones we know whenever somebody's being malicious and whenever somebody really, you know, they're flattered.
Yeah,
So
but I'd
yeah,
rather make a song. I'd rather make a song about you. I'd rather make a song about it than have to punch you in the fucking face.
me
Like,
too. And
you know what I
honestly,
mean?
that's the reason why my latest project, that's the reason why I dropped that because I wasn't gonna drop shit, not yet. But it's been the past couple of years, there's been some stuff going on, and I was like, I need to go ahead and get this out of my system before I end up catching a murder charge.
Yeah, it really do be like that. Music is really therapeutic. Like where did I say this? Where did I say this? But I was like, without music, I will go insane. Riding trains, exposition lane, bringing demolition aim. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's I think that's Sunsets of Green Light 4. Yeah.
Damn, yeah. I like your music because you literally express yourself very well in there. Like it's definitely something that we can tell is an outlet for you. Now in the song War Games, that's whenever I could tell the most that you use the music as an outlet. This one it shows to me it shows I don't know, it's just that you ain't afraid, like I said before, you ain't afraid to use your voice. The message in there was like all in your face. Like I want to know
hmm
the background of that for sure. Like what happened with War Games? What was the message behind that?
I just felt like people were coming at me
Mm-hmm.
that where I was like, where the fuck is this coming from? You know what I mean? Like what did Don Corleone and the Godfather where he's like, what did I do to deserve this disrespect?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's where it comes from. It's uh I think Pusha T said it, you know, these are the games we play. So it's kind of like a little reference to that too. But
Mm-hmm.
also too on wrestling in WCW, there's this it's called War Games where they put two wrestling rings together
Uh-huh.
and like whoever the wrestlers are, they'll do special moves, like they'll throw them over one ring into the other.
Yeah.
Or, you know, I'm super into wrestling too, so it was
Okay.
like that's in reference to that, but it was just like I forgot how War Games even starts. Uh I have the lyrics on my phone so I could give it because I was kind of thrown off with that question. But the beat right there, I had that beat for years too. And uh uh I had the beat for years and I actually wanted to give it to an artist and I felt like the artist that I wanted to give it to, I felt like they were like subliminally throwing like shots at me or like the people that they were rocking with were. So I was like, oh, okay, instead of giving it to them, I'll give it to them in a different way,
Yeah.
like
Right.
the message, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, I have the lyrics, yeah. 38 M and bang, carbon spitting blue flames, butane, melt your face away like Kane. That's why, like Kane, the wrestler, melt your
Yeah.
face away. When he took his mask off, his
His
face was all
face
fucked
melt.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Scribe my name up in the train, rack some more paint, wall face, smoking two rings, war game, like smoking two rings, like two barrels, but also two rings, like war games. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I'm
Yeah.
Ric Flair with the belt. Ric Flair was the fucking
The
part of the
man.
Four Horsemen,
Yeah.
which were like fucking the people, the first group to be like to start war games off. Uh, uh, yeah, yeah, yeah. if I don't pay tax, then it's not my problem. You played out like Coachella.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah. Hey, it was
Like
some hard
Coachella played the
bars in
fuck
there.
out,
Yeah, it
but like
is.
also you go out to play like
Mhm.
for Coachella. You know, yeah, just there's certain things I don't want to give away. Like you'd have to really be like understand
The
the
lyrics.
references.
Yeah,
Um, uh, yeah, because it's a lot of inside references that um it's between me and the artist.
yeah,
You know what I mean? So
yeah.
you
I
might
get
listen
that.
to it like, oh, like on the surface level, like, oh, it's a cool song, but like there's a lot of shit that I touched on.
I
Uh,
like that
uh,
each track that we have listened to for you, none of them really sound the same. Like it shows you got like a lot of a versatile style. You can hop on like almost any beat and make a hit. So I like that.
yeah, I don't chase nothing. I don't chase singles. I don't chase fame. I've been said this fortune over fame. I don't care. I've been asked by shout out to Jessica Rabbit Rabs Lane on Instagram. She was like, I work in the she told me she works in the industry and she I don't know if she manages artists, but she was like, well, what's your goal? Like what is your like what's your ultimate goal in your career? And I was like, honestly, I don't give a fuck.
Hmm.
I'm not looking at it that deep. I don't care. I really don't give a fuck where it takes me as long as I could just make music and connect with people and just inspire the next person. That's all I really care about. I'm not looking for money. I'm not looking for it'd be nice, it'd be cool.
Yeah, yeah.
but
I can agree
it's
with that.
that my you know what I mean? My main I didn't come into the game for that. It's just really like it's really for me. It's not really for nobody else but me because I feel
Yeah,
like I need to get this shit off.
yeah,
But yeah, war games is just same thing. It's kind of like Embers in a way where I'm like talking shit and it's like another don't fuck with me, like don't poke the bear unless you want to end up bear shit.
yeah.
You know, it's another
That
one of those things. Yeah.
that that song along with all the rest of them, but that song also was like one of the ones where I really was liking the harmonizing and just like the different ways where you were using your voice in that. But it's like even with you changing up your flow and everything, you still can tell that there's a message in there. So
Hmm.
I had wrote down on here when I listened to Southside Story. That one gave me like Jada Kid Styles P type of vibes. The sample was fire. I love that fucking sample. Your voice and flow
Shout
just,
out to NC
oh my god, your voice and flow on that sample was so chef's kiss, like perfect. But what I
because
really
when it
wanted,
rains, it pours.
yeah. And I had wrote down, I was like, make sure I say this. What I really wanted to say is like, you have the type of voice that makes me want to listen the fuck up. Like it makes me, it feels like you got something to say. Like it just gives off like I got a story or I got something to say. So I was like, man, I don't know, man. I definitely want to hear more projects and more music from you. So I'll probably be on your YouTube like all damn night just listening to more because I love your style, your sound. I want to be able to support you more and just, watch your journey now that I'm affiliated and I kind of know who you are. I can be able to watch your journey and see you rise and shine and shit. But I was
If you
listening.
go under my playlist under
Yeah.
albums, you'll find all like not all my albums,
Uh-huh.
just the albums I dropped on YouTube. But I have over like 50 albums.
Yeah, I seen a bunch of them. I was just listening to some stuff on Greenlight 3. They got 9 tracks on there. I was listening to
Yeah.
that on YouTube. But yeah, you got a lot of great music out there and your catalog is dope, decent, and the quality is amazing as well. Knowing that you're the man behind all of this shit, like I'm
Mhm.
hoping that anybody listening, this is more of an encouragement to go and support you because like it takes a lot to do everything that you're doing and you're doing it all by yourself. That's a boss. If you don't want to support somebody like that, then what the fuck are you doing? You know what I mean? Like, you really on some boss ass shit. But I wanted to say, like, how can we get more involved with supporting you? Not saying that you need our support, but we want to be able to support you because that's what the Get to Know Me podcast is about. So, what would be some ways other than streaming the music? Like, where can we find you, follow you at?
Um, Instagram, Evil Emperor Serbs, EVILEMPERORSERBS. I don't really use Twitter, or if people still call it Twitter or X, SERBS underscore. I just be on there to look at like tarot readings and follow my,
Your
the
zodiac shit.
Yeah. I be loving that shit. Imperial the brand, man. You can hit me up directly if you need a shirt. I'll send it out to you. Uh, what is it? I got flavors. On there.
Okay.
So this was the St. Patrick's Day drop.
Oh, that's
Um,
hard. Oh shit. That's
you
hard.
know what I mean? I got so much. I'm like booking all my logos. Uh, like I'm already months ahead of schedule, but I got different shit. Like it's not. I don't want it to be one way. The snake
Damn.
logo.
Okay. Yo,
Yeah, La
my
Meta
man's is
Superior.
doing some shit.
Yeah,
Adelante.
if you need it, and shit, hit me up. This was what is it? I don't know if you can see it. This no, I'm gonna bring shit out.
Oh
Fucking
yeah, I see the back of your shirt. Everlasting
yeah,
and
but
purity.
oh shit. Yeah, just I'm a lot of things, and a bitch ain't one of them.
Hello. Hey, you do it all. Like, man, I swear we twins, dog. We must be
Yeah,
twins. I was like, I'm glad you brought up zodiacs because I was like, I want to ask him what's his zodiac, but I don't know if you want to share it.
guess it.
I want to say you're a Taurus, but I don't know.
That's very close. I'm a Capricorn.
Okay, bet. Okay, because
Yeah,
our similarities are so close. I was like, he got to be a Taurus like me. So you're a Capricorn. Okay, that makes sense because my nephew's a Capricorn and me and him stuck like glue, like tight. Everybody, he misunderstood. He ain't bad. Look, I always take up for him. He misunderstood. He ain't bad. But yeah, man, your music is dope. You do a little bit of every fucking thing. I mean, we done went through graffiti, engineering, producing, rapping, fucking podcasting, clothing brand. I mean, what the fuck? How do you found
yeah,
energy for all of this? And
yeah.
then
I'm.
let's
I'm
not forget that you just started a new career.
Oh yeah, in my personal life, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like that. That's why with the way I'm setting my life up, I'm good. I don't gotta rap. I don't gotta do shit.
Hell
Like
yeah.
that's my favorite thing to tell people. I don't gotta do shit.
Hmm.
I don't have to support you. I don't have to do nothing, bro. Like
That's
I'm
right.
living my life the way I want to do it, and it may come off as selfish or self-centered and all that, but it's like if you would have if you would have lived my life the way I lived it through my lens and shit, you would understand like a lot of like the way I am.
Yeah.
And because the game, the not the game, but like the social media, this should be like a little heavy. Like I don't like keeping up. I don't like being in everyone's face all the time. Like it's a lot of energy consuming.
Yeah, it
It's
is.
taking me away from things I got in my personal life. I got a lot of shit going on that has nothing to do with social media. But if people don't see you like fucking, if people don't see you making certain moves or certain things, people are just like, oh, this fool fell off. And like,
Yeah, they assume that you ain't got shit going on, but nah.
yeah, yeah, I'm just really trying to do my own thing, and I'm trying to find that fine line where like I'm in the public eye enough
Yeah.
to catch the audience retention,
Uh-huh.
but like leave it alone and just do my own thing. Like
Yeah.
I had shit going on before, doing a podcast, and I got shit I'm gonna do after. So uh, uh I got music videos for the album me and Chava are doing, a music video that me and him just did. That's kind of like the Lucy. So if anyone, like, I'm always working. Just FYI for everybody out there, I'm just always working.
Always.
Always, always.
If we want to support you, the most recent project that you got out, which project is that one?
Green Light 4. But then also too, I didn't really. I'm gonna put this on all DSPs, all streaming platforms. But Love is Love. I don't know if you heard that album. That's
I
probably
did.
the deepest, most intricate.
Mhm.
We didn't even touch on that
Yeah,
album,
we
but
didn't touch on that, but that one right
that's
there, I like the graphics to that as well.
like the pictures.
Yeah, the pictures.
Yeah, shout out to Ray, the homegirl, creatively Ray. She took those pictures, and we took that last year in Valentine's Day.
Really,
But
they
I
are
knew like,
so clean and crispy. Like I was like, damn, I love this picture. This shot is great. I like the picture. I'm a picture person, so I fuck with that.
yeah, she's amazing. So I took the photos last year, and I already knew like ahead of time I'm gonna make an album, and these are gonna be the cover photos. But I just didn't know when I was gonna do it, and then I did the album with the homie Zika Bits, which is funny because I'm Serbs. He's actually Serbian from Serbia, so it
Hell
was
no.
like it all it all came together. Like
Oh yeah.
he's a very awesome, talented producer, and maybe next time we'll get into that album. But that was a very deep album. That was a really hard album to make because I wanted to focus less on the street shit and more like my thoughts on like love and all that shit, you know?
Yeah, I like that project. I got to listen to like maybe like the first three, but I'm definitely gonna piggyback and listen to a lot more because like I said, I really like your music. It ain't a front. Like it's easy for me to tell people that I like it or don't like their music after doing this for so long. I used to be nervous to tell people I didn't like it. I won't necessarily just come all off and be like, yeah, your shit suck. I'd be like, it's interesting. You know what I mean? You got a unique sound, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah. But no,
Yeah, you're good.
your shit bang. The last couple of people that I've interviewed actually have music that I would literally bang, and they all of y'all have a style where I'm like, you could be like, if I close my eyes and didn't know you, I would think this is a signed artist that's on like a big ass label or something. Because the quality of the music is great, and then the quality of what the artist is speaking about is great, and the way you're using your voice and just it's good music, it's good clean music. I don't feel like it's at a fossil state because me and my homegirl was listening to your songs together, and she's like, I see what he mean by fossil state, but nah, like this shit is shit that this is our generation type of music, and that's why
Well,
it takes a certain type of crowd to really fuck with
yeah.
certain music, and your music it would take a certain type of crowd to really
Well,
appreciate it.
well, the reason why I say a fossil state is because when I'm out here doing shows,
Mm-hmm.
I'm the only person representing this.
Yeah.
Everyone else that is doing the hippity dippity dippity.
Yeah.
Everyone's doing that, or everyone's doing the the old Chicano, the fucking old dinosaur. No disrespect to none of the homies out there,
Yeah, it's
but
just it is what it
it's
is.
just like the old Chicano rap style, like Kid Frost and fucking either like Lil Rob or
Mm-hmm.
summer days just sitting around when the sun goes down. Like, okay, I get it, but that's old, bro. Like, you got
Yeah.
to come up with some new shit. Like,
Yeah.
so it's that's why I say it's a fossil state. But I love that because can't nobody fuck with me when I go up there.
That's true.
It's not the big sub bass or the 808s. I've literally seen people play their music and
Yep.
they're dancing. I'm like, am I watching the fucking Jabberwockies up here, or what the fuck is this? People and just like people just like fucking like, I'm like,
Yeah.
I literally look at the homies and I'm like, okay, this dickhead over here, like, and so I'm like, gotta holler at some girls or something, like, all right, like, fuck this fool and his lame ass,
Bro, that's so funny. Because when I first moved to Cali, I did feel that way. I was like, damn, it's like the same little boom, to doom, to doom. Everybody was performing. And then I go up there with my southern ass and I'm like on some, you know what I mean? Some different shit. But I stuck out like a fucking thumbprint. And that kind of will help me being my own original self. So I ain't never going to hate on nobody being their own original self.
It's a little scary because you don't know, like, oh shit, what if they don't like me? Should I
Yeah.
fucking come out with something they like more, or like?
Yeah.
But my advice is just to be like, no, like, own that shit. Like, don't be afraid
Yeah.
don't never be afraid to be yourself.
Yeah.
Never.
I
You
love
know what
that.
I mean? As soon as you let other people dictate the way you move around in life, then it's like they already won. Like, never do
Yeah.
that. You always got to come up, solid, 10 toes on the ground. Like,
That's
fuck
facts.
whatever anybody else thinks about you. You just got to be real solid in yourself,
Mm.
especially with music, especially because fools are gonna shit on you no matter what. People are gonna
Yeah.
hate people.
Yeah.
This is not for the weak. Like, this game will chew you up and spit you out if
I'm
you
trying to
let it.
tell you. Yeah, facts. And I know that you also got your podcast every Friday. How can everybody
Yeah.
support the podcast?
Subscribe on YouTube. I've been trying to get my podcast everywhere, but right now I'm just doing it exclusively on YouTube. That might change soon because YouTube, their policies are so stupid. I just had my episode 11 taken down for medical misinformation, so it's just like
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
lame though. like if I could make my own YouTube and have or like my own website, like I might have to do like Patreon or some shit like that, or
Yeah.
have my own website and people
Go on there to
pay like
listen to it.
yeah,
Yeah.
like $5 a month and you get like but I want to see here's the thing, like a lot of people they want to do it like in tiers or whatever, like oh like 5, 10, 15, and you get everything. If you're gonna pay $5 a month for me, then I'd want to give you as much as you
Possible.
know you could possibly get. Like
Right.
you'll get like a fucking free T-shirt a month and like exclusive song, exclusive live stream, something like I'm already nobody's steal my idea out there because I'll hunt your
Right.
ass
Because
down.
they will.
But
They will.
fucking, you know
Like,
what I mean? Like
some now, I
that's what
don't know
I'm
about
working
my
on now.
audience. I don't know if my audience steal nobody ideas. I mean, I would hope not, because I'll kill them myself.
Well, well,
But
well, you got the enemies out there. They look your name up and then they be
we
like, "Oh
do got
shit,
enemies.
what?"
They gonna see
They'll be like,
Big Serbs
"Write
on the
that
Get to
down."
Know Me podcast with Bizzy Balboa. Oh shit, they gonna come on this bitch. It's hella gems been dropped on here. It's rare that I have somebody on here that teach me anything. It's been hella times where you done said, you heard of this? And I'm like, hell no. Nah. So you done taught me a couple of things. And so yeah, I already know that this is a great interview. I really appreciated you coming on. And everything that we talked about, it really hit home because I could relate to a lot of the things that you speak about. And just the person that you are, you're authentic and real as fuck. Like, and your music is actually good. So I'm
Mhm.
hoping one day we'll be able to collaborate on some shit, whether it's music, podcast, both, whatever the fuck you want to do. I'm with you, my nigga.
Yeah. I'm down. I'm down with whatever. I think I've heard like a song or two. I think I checked you out and I was like, damn, like she's pretty hard. You know what I mean?
Man, I
Uh,
try, man. I got a little bit of something for everybody. I done lived so many places where I really don't even know what the fuck I sound like or what everybody say. Oh, you starting to sound like you from Cali now, and I'm like, when? I know I've been over there 10 years, but damn. So sometimes they say that, and some people like, damn, you sound super southern. It's giving like little bootsy or something. But I don't know. I really don't know. I just rap how I rap, however people take it, they take it. But I rap about my real life and the shit that I go through. Sometimes I'll go talk about some crazy wild shit that is fabricated or somebody else's situation that I have to fabricate so that nobody gets in trouble and that. But I like to have fun with this shit, man. And yeah, I definitely think that me and you on a track would be so fucking crazy. It'll be Bar City. That shit would be crazy. That'll shut a lot of people the fuck up too. I like that shit, man. I want to do something. Let me know if you down.
I'm with it. We could collab like on more your style, or you could get on one of my beats or whatever. I'm
Shit, we can
down with
do
it too.
both. Let's do it. I'm with it.
Yeah. I'm with it. I'm with it.
Hell yeah, man. Anything else we need to shout out or say before we let them go up out of here?
Um, look out for the album with me and Chava Styles. It's called The Painter's Palisade. Imperial. Don't forget to check this out. Follow me on IG because I got super fire dropping every month. New designs every month this year. I'm just staying consistent.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fucking. I don't know who to shout out, but just fucking. Shout out to you for having me on. It was really cool that I wanted to do something different. I don't really reach out,
Yeah.
but I think the homie Advis
Oh
linked
yeah. Avis,
yeah,
yeah. Yeah,
yeah.
Avis been on the podcast back in 2020 when I was doing all those interviews back to back, and I don't
Mhm.
even remember how I ran across Avis, but Avis he's a great supporter of the podcast, so I fuck with him
Mhm.
heavy. He done sent me a couple artists, so shout out to fucking Avis, nigga. If y'all don't know
Yeah, shout
Avis,
out to him.
please
He
go
he's
follow Avis. Dope.
he's done 4 of my music videos, and he's really cool. He's a genuine person, which I feel like is something that's missing, especially in music. A lot of people are like mad egomaniacs, and people are just like, it's all me, and well, what can you do for them? Not
Yeah.
Advis. He's like really like he's really. I tell him all the time he's D4 dub. He's down for whatever, and I love
Yeah.
that. I love that
Yeah,
about
he
him.
he a real one, and it's crazy because it was a show that some people from San Diego was having up there in Ontario, and he was there. And I think that's the show where he walked up to one of the artists that I had on the podcast and was like, "I heard of you from the Get to Know Me podcast." So it's interesting that he's the one that sent you, because that story that I told, that was actually Avis that walked up to Sham Black and told him, "Yo, I heard of you on the Get to Know Me podcast." And Sham always tell me like, I never forget. I'm in Ontario and I got people telling me, I heard you on Get to Know Me podcast. And I was like, that's what the fuck I do this shit for. You know what I mean? Like that made my heart burst. So yeah, man, it means a lot that everybody is really fucking with me because, you know, being an artist, you definitely want to be mindful of who you know, give your art to and who you let represent you. So for people to trust me to represent them in this manner, that's to me, that's the highest honor from other artists that you can get. So I appreciate you coming on, and you always welcome to come on. Don't feel like, oh, I already been on there, I can't go back. You can always come back. You're a part of the family. So anytime you see anything, shit, let me know. You know, if you got something coming out, send it to me. I'll post it for you, whatever. Support all the way over here, man.
Yeah, yeah. I think the next time I'll get on, I'll go. We'll do it with Chava Styles.
I love that.
We'll do it for the album. We'll promote the album. I'll
Hell
give you
yeah.
some exclusives for the album.
Hell yeah,
And we'll
let's
set
do that.
we'll set that up. Hopefully, you know, I get a good schedule for work.
Yeah, man. Hopefully,
You know what I mean? We can
hopefully we're gonna cross our fingers on that. Pray that we can make that happen. But hell yeah, I would love to have y'all come back on and talk about y'all project together because that'll be a great follow-up. Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
All
For
right,
sure.
man. Shit. Well, y'all make sure y'all follow Big Serbs. Make sure whenever you do follow him, you let him know that Bizzy Balboa sent you from the Get to Know Me podcast, where we celebrate artists and we're a bunch of artists representing each other. So it's Bizzy Balboa and Big Serbs on the Get to Know Me podcast. Y'all stay safe, but stay dangerous. We out.
Oh yeah.
Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of the Get to Know Me podcast. New episodes release weekly on Saturdays and Wednesdays. In the weeks where we skip, please tune into our previous episodes. Other ways to support is word of mouth, following us on all social media and podcast platforms, and supporting a guest on our show. You also can become a subscribed listener by signing up as low as 99 cents a month, where you will have access to exclusive episodes, a chance to win prizes, and more. Again, thank you for tuning into the Get to Know Me podcast, created and hosted by Bizzy Balboa.